So I have a great pleasure of being one of the modern historians on the CGT team. And the theme that I think, if I had only 3 minutes to sort of single out as my central preoccupation, is the question of global money. Global money and its future. And I think we can be confident that it is going to have a future, and this is going to be a key issue for us, because we already have it, and it's already causing problems. And we've already demonstrated fairly satisfactorily that we don't know how to think about it or to govern it at this point. So the sort of global money that we already have, and it's quite difficult to predict other ones in the future, but the sort of money that we already have that has this odd new sort of property is what you might call global euro dollars. These things originated in the 1960s. It was offshore lending of dollars, deposits, credit, liquidity created in dollars by non-American actors. And this has now expanded to an absolutely extraordinary extent and become one of the really dominant factors in global finance. Dollar-denominated business activity, credit and deposits centered to that extent on the US economy, but outside the US economy by non-US actors. So this poses two absolutely fundamental problems for thinking, and this is why this is, I think, a legitimate object of concern for a body like the CGT, because it challenges two really fundamental preconceptions we have about money, which is that it is national. Dollars belong to the United States, and ultimately the money stuff, the green stuff, is created by states. And the extraordinary thing about global money, and certainly the first form that we've seen, is that it has neither of those properties. Neither of those two things is true. It's actually not created in the United States. It's created by European actors, by Asian actors for their own convenience and at their own free will, and it is privately created. It is created by all of the major financial actors, some American, some not American actors outside the United States. And it is at this point beyond the control of government. Now this, on the face of it, might seem to be some kind of paradise. We've found a global commercial network, a global mesh that we can create for ourselves, a common denominator, a common unit of account. But what we have seen, we've seen this repeatedly, in fact, euro dollars have always been a problem. They helped to blow up the Bretton Woods system. They caused an enormous problem in the 1970s. But what we've really seen since 2008 is that when that house of cards, that extraordinary pyramid, which all credit systems are, not just the Ponzi schemes, all credit systems rely on these various asymmetric architectures, when they start to come down, the unit of currency, the unit of account actually matters. And if throughout the world trillions of dollars are built on a dollar-backed system that is in fact only one agency in the world which can provide the safety net and the backstop, and that happens, not surprisingly, to be an American institution, and its most important branch is in New York, its headquarters is in Washington, and I'm of course talking about the Federal Reserve System. And thinking about the consequence of this conceptually, politically, and institutionally is a matter of really, it's very hard to exaggerate how urgent this problem is. And the consequences of not understanding this and the way in which, as it were, conventional thought seeps in and structures this whole problem, and I'll summarize this in 30 seconds to stay within the 3-minute line, if we continuously think globalization in the wrong way. The huge stories of the 90s and the 2000s was China. China, China, China. And that's for obvious reasons. But China tempts us into old habits of thinking, because the Chinese economy is a state-run, state-controlled national economy, which is where the crisis, in fact, didn't happen. The place where the crisis happened was in this new world of transatlantic finance, a new old world of transatlantic finance, which required transnational governance, which was simply not there or had to be improvised. At the time, there was every reason to put a veil of secrecy over the operations that the Fed performed. But 10 years on, it seems to me, 8, 9 years on at least, it's crucial that we start thinking openly and concertedly about them. And having spoken to President Bollinger about this already, and not, however, having the chance to speak to Carol about it, one of my ambitions for CGT is to make it one of the central locations where critical scholars, academics, practitioners, and technicians of this global money can actually converge to think through the profound conceptual issues and political issues that it raises.
Thank you. Thank you.